Welcome, everybody, to the Black and White History Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe. We are your hosts, Christian and...
I never noticed that Harding has like a very, very prominent nose. It's not like a good or bad thing. It's just like, it was like, oh, he's so handsome. Like, he's kind of bird-like. I don't know.
Yeah, he's not as good looking as you would think if you read about him.
Yeah.
Versus when you saw him.
Like, I'm envisioning a 1920s Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
And he's like, Alan Rickman. I'm Jordan.
Yeah, so on that note, Warren G. Harding, one of the most fascinating individuals you can think of.
Yeah, commonly known as the most corrupt president in American history. The most corrupt president in American history so far. But, you know, he's getting me from beyond the grave because I'm like, I don't know, was he really like that bad of a guy, or did he just get bamboozled? Like, did he just want people to like him so much that he let people do stuff, or like, was he not as smart as people thought a president should be, and so people were able to get one over on him? And so that's one half of me. And the other half of me is like, no, of course he knew. He kind of, this was his thing, where you just think he's like the golden retriever who, I don't know, come on, I just want everyone to like me, guys. Sure, take all the oil. I don't care. It's fine. And it's like, no, you knew, dude. You must have. Well, maybe not. I don't know. We'll get into it.
All right. Well, yeah, definitely a foreshadow.
Yeah.
We'll talk about. I think he's someone who is an example of, I mean, like his moral life or his private life.
Yeah.
Was pretty disastrous in terms of,
salacious, yes,
and morals and values. But his professional life was pretty good. I mean, he was very popular as a president.
Oh yeah,
and he was very successful as a president in terms of economic recovery from World War One. He was very well liked. He won in a complete landslide. He was already projected to win in a second term, but it's just his degenerate lifestyle that
yeah, you know what, everyone likes the ice cream man, and the ice cream man is very, very popular. I mean, how many people chase after your car when you come through the neighborhood? But that doesn't mean I want the ice cream man to be the president. Or maybe I do.
I don't know if that analogy works, because I don't think an ice cream man would be like the opposite, because
like an ice cream man that takes the children's money and then drives away, a corrupt ice cream man. Okay. But everyone still loves him on the promise that he'll deliver on what you think he should, but he just keeps stealing the money and never gives you your SpongeBob popsicle.
Okay, we're getting off the rails.
He's off the rails. So, the whole thing's off the rails.
So we'll get into Harding and Calvin Coolidge, the odd couple duo.
Okay, we went way too far in this direction. Let's get like the complete opposite. It's like if you go through a bad breakup and it's like, oh, I'm never dating that kind of person again. Mm-hmm. Then you did the exact opposite, and it's like, well, that's boring.
So, okay, let's we got to set the stage a little bit. So we have World War One is now over.
We won,
but back home, facing huge economic instability, total recession. Everyone hates Woodrow Wilson because he just pushed the envelope on the progressive politics too far.
Come on, guys, we can all share the ocean. Shut up, nerd.
He wanted just full unity across the world with League of Legends that ended up...
League of Legends?
Or, sorry. League of Nations. That's not a League of Legends sponsorship.
Raid Shadow Legends. Yes. Featuring special character Woodrow Wilson.
I don't care. I'm keeping it in.
Keep it in.
And then he, ends up getting a stroke and basically has his wife running the administration. Mm-hmm. And so, you put a woman in charge. What you get, so. Joking.
Are you, though? She didn't do any worse than he did, so.
Yeah, sure.
Basically,
now the times are changing.
The times are changing, and
Hollywood
indeed have changed. Yes,
we have a special kind of music.
Bluegrass,
jazz.
Oh,
I was trying.
Yeah,
I was giving you the Runaway.
The Runaway, what, like Slave?
Yeah.
Oh, Runway. Sorry. Yeah. No, we got jazz. We've got Art Deco. Mm-hmm. We've got We got flappers.
Yep.
We got
baseball.
I mean, women wear pants now. What is the world coming to? But everyone seems pretty cool with it, for the most part. I mean, spoiler alert, the good times don't just keep rolling. But for right now, it's not half bad. I mean, the stock market's going up, so people are making a lot of money, and everything seems to be on the up and up. So we get rid of the nerd Woodrow, and
we basically hire the frat boy from his college to be president.
Yes.
The guy who gave Woodrow Wilson a swirly.
Yeah. Yeah. He was president of the Sigma Epsilon frat, and then he just sort of moseyed his way into Pennsylvania Avenue. Yeah. Warren Harding, I mean, basically from the beginning, like before any politics, he was that guy. He was the bro. He was a womanizer. He was a drinker. He had his gang of buddies who they just did all sorts of shenanigans with, and they were kind of infamous as just sort of when you think of the good old boys, this is what we mean by the good old boys, because and here's the thing, and I kind of mentioned it earlier, Warren Harding, by most accounts, was not like a evil genius. He wasn't like I'm gonna get one over on you. He just sort of did stuff, and because he was charming and personable, he kind of just sort of
was like a newspaper.
Yeah, he bought a whole newspaper, and
this is all pre-president.
Yeah, pre-presidency. He bought a whole newspaper, and like he wasn't like a hard-hitting investigative journalist or anything like that. He just he's like, I'll do this now. Yeah, I think I'll just try this, and instead of doing anything significant with it, like, oh, we're going to try to break a cool story, he's like, we're just going to run like the classifieds and do the stuff that everyone likes, and we're just going to do snakes and sparklers. That's what I like. So, but it's not what you want; it's the consumer. So, yeah, he was, by all accounts, a charming fellow. He knew the right people. He knew how to work a room. So, like, think of a politician that has no ideas, no plans, no nothing, but people just seem to like for some odd reason. That's Warren Harding. And again, like I said,
he's a businessman.
He is a businessman, and he wasn't. When I say failed upwards, like he didn't like go broke. He had money. He didn't do anything positive with it. He just like went to parties and like cheated on every wife or girlfriend he ever had, basically immediately. Which is weird. You'd think that you'd get more enemies doing stuff like that, but again, it must have been.
Even the husbands are like, he's a Chad. I don't know.
That's my fault, really. It's my bad. Since he's in high society, people are like, oh, you should do politics. You could do whatever you want. He's like, okay, sure. So he runs for some.
He was a senator.
Yeah, he ran from one
Ohio,
office.
So the last Ohio president.
Yes, so far. Please, so far.
Really?
I don't know. Oh. I'm tired of the whole thing. Anyways, I don't care. Get someone from Alaska. It can't be any worse. Bring back Sarah Palin. So yeah, I said it. You don't cut that. I said it.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. So he runs for, I think, either the state house representative or some other office, and loses, and then he runs again for Senate and wins.
Okay.
And then he runs for, I think, lieutenant governor of Ohio. And he wins that. So he lost once, and then
just swindled his way to the top. And then...
Yeah, and again, like his early political career is basically just, he didn't do anything offensive. And this is kind of where the other side of, like, he wasn't an evil genius. He was a good-hearted person who just liked to party. But he was like, come on, guys, we should just all get along. Like, he actually was known for strengthening race relations, like even before he became president. Like, I don't have a specific story, but that was a theme that he was trying to be more inclusive of everyone. It's sort of like, hey, times are good, everyone's making money. We don't need to stir the pot with a whole bunch of like social division type stuff. Like, and that led up into his presidency when he returned to normalcy.
Yeah,
which apparently is not the right word. Like, normalcy isn't a word. Like, it should be normality.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Okay. I think so. Fact check me on that. But the hard part about that is like, well, what do you mean by normal?
Right. Yeah.
Because but you're just saying we're just going to do whatever the opposite of what Woodrow Wilson is going to do, and that's what we're going to do.
I guess it's kind of like a, you know, a MAGA,
Yeah.
America great again.
I would
And
like that.
People have kind of their own idea of like,
Yeah.
oh, just like I'm a '90s Democrat, okay, because like I'm a staunch neocon, like
Mhm.
oh, okay, that's great again to me, and
Yeah.
I'm a whatever. So yeah, it's a subjective slogan that just everyone can relate to, but it kind of just means whatever you relate it
Exactly. A perfect politician. It means nothing. It
to.
obligates him to do nothing in particular, but it sounds really good and it gets you to pull the lever. So that's politics, baby. And we fell for it.
Yep.
We fell for it good and hard because he won.
Yes.
He won big too.
It was like 100-year landslide, including winning Tennessee, which is the first time that had happened since like Ulysses S. Grant.
Mm-hmm.
People have spoken. They are done with the progressive wing of politics. We're back to just small government, kind of more isolationist.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just take a breather. We just killed millions of people, and we'll just party and invest wildly into the stock market.
Yeah, we don't even really know what the stock market is or what it does, but we're putting all our money in it, and the zeros keep going up, so it must be a good thing. Yeah, so that's that's the other thing. Is like war is good for an economy when the war is like starting and happening. Afterwards, it kind of sucks because you used you took out a bunch of loans, a bunch of people owe you money.
Yeah.
No one has any money, no one has any supplies. Everyone's kind of pissed off and sad. So the Roaring '20s is about just good vibes, man. Good vibes all around, and completely ignoring like basic economics and like, hey guys, the stock market is propped up on nothing. Like we should probably do something about that. No, it's fine. Although to their credit, and we're alluding to the Great Depression, which we will not talk about here because it hasn't happened yet. It'll get its own episode. There's not really much they could have done. It was like the system.
Well, there wasn't even anyone who was pointing out, careful, like this is going to cut, that would be such a good Democrat position to try to like use even just as a scare tactic thing. But it's like, it didn't even cross that party's mind.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just, but arrow keeps going up. Let's not rock the boat. So yes, Warren Harding, he runs with Calvin Coolidge, who is the exact opposite of him. Basically it's like, they said, we need like a smart nerd guy to drag around to the party to be the designated driver. Calvin Coolidge is a designated driver. He just sits in the corner of the party and like has his cranberry juice and just scowls at people. And Warren Harding and his Ohio gang, which he brings a lot of the guys that he ran with and did shenanigans with from Ohio into the White House with him and put them in supremely powerful, like cabinet level, secretary level positions. Who knows if these guys know what they're doing, like to actually run it. But the thing that they do know how to do very well is grift.
Yeah. Launder money.
Yes. Steal and pillage the American taxpayer for millions of dollars. So, I mean, Harding's presidency, like I said at the beginning, is known as the most corrupt. Like, it doesn't really matter what industry, what facet of government, like someone from his crew managed to like skim off the top. Like one of them, so he created kind of the proto version of the Veterans Administration. So to sort of take care of the veterans coming back from World War I and help them get healthcare and do stuff like that. He started that. And then one of his cronies, what did he do? He like stole a bunch of like medication from that agency and like resold it. Like this was also like the Prohibition era.
Yeah.
So like, constitutionally, like you cannot sell alcohol, but he just drinks in the White House.
Yeah.
He just does what he wants. He doesn't care. Like, come on, it's like a party. So yeah, do what the people want. Like the people want prohibition. Okay, cool. Totally fine. Good vibes, man. I'm just going to have my bourbon here in the White House. Like, I'm not going to lead by example or like follow the Constitution. Like I totally swore, double pinky promised I would do in front of everyone with the Bible. Nah, I'm just going to have it. I'm just going to drink. Don't worry about it, man. He had an affair while he was in the White House that was like known. Like he would like sneak off with his mistress in like a broom closet next to the Oval Office. It's like, where's the president? Oh, he's canoodling with his mistress.
Yep.
Oh, of course, it's 3:00. I should have known. Like,
he had a name for his penis.
Yes.
Named it Jerry. There's a funny quote where he says, it's a good thing I'm not a woman, or I'd always be pregnant. I just can't say no.
Mm. He was a hoe.
Yeah.
Warren G was a hoe. Faux show.
So, yeah, it was like over a dozen suspected affairs, or like around a dozen or so. Anyway, more than zero.
Yeah. Like, at most, you can maybe get away with one.
Yes. Well, one that he had was for about 15 years.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And it was with his friend's wife.
Of course.
And her name was Carrie Phillips.
Go big or go home.
Yeah. And he had sent, there's a bunch of letters that have come out after he died that kind of revealed a lot of his degeneracy and everything. And one of the letters was him talking about Harding's actual wife, Florence. And he says in this letter to Carrie Phillips, there isn't one iota of affection in my home marriage. It all exists for appearance sake.
That's a strong marriage right there.
And I guess, Florence was aware of this, and it was just like, she's just in it to be in it.
I'm not condoning it, but if you marry Warren Harding, you know what you're doing.
Sure, yeah.
A man who has a nickname for his penis he's not into monogamy.
Yes. So, and then he also ends up fathering a child.
Yes.
With one of his other mistresses. So that was, or Nan Britton. So they have a daughter, which this was like 8 years after he had died that this even came out. But so the daughter's name was Elizabeth, and it's like not fully confirmed, but according to Nan, she's pretty sure that since your thing with the broom closet was their daughter Elizabeth was conceived on the senator's couch. So
classy.
To give you an idea. So set the stage for Clinton.
Yeah. Yeah. There's precedent for it. So anything's better than that, but maybe not. So yeah, and all the while, Harding and his crew are like paying these women off to not because even though everyone knew who Warren Harding was, he was loved by the public. So somehow, I don't know if he had some like crazy spin doctor, or this was just an airtight operation where the general public did not know that he had 12 affairs and had an illegitimate love child, but like they were paying these ladies off like tens of thousands of dollars.
Well, and also, there was Secret Service was providing like child support cash by hand to Nan Britton for Elizabeth and everything. So that's kind of like what ended up coming out after the fact.
Yeah. Where did $100,000 go? I don't know.
So just to kind of give an idea of what his
these are the most significant things about his presidency.
Yes.
How terrible he was as a person.
Okay, let's want to go to Teapot Dome?
Yeah, so okay.
And we'll slide into Calvin Coolidge.
Yeah. So Teapot Dome. Teapot Dome is in Wyoming. It is an oil reserve. It's a strategic oil field that the government had identified and basically said to the Navy, hey, if we need it, we're gonna use the oil that is here on this land for you. We're gonna replenish supply, and if there's an emergency, we'll get it from the ground here. And so once Warren Harding's, I think it was like the Secretary of the Interior or something like that.
Yeah. So Albert Hall.
Albert Hall. Yeah. Once he caught wind of
Albert Fall. Sorry.
Fall. Yeah, that was accurate. So once good old Al got wind of this, and this is hundreds of millions, like a lot of money in oil and land leases and this, that, and the other, but it's been reserved for the government. So, and that's a law. Like Congress has specifically voted to set this aside. But Albert says, if you guys aren't using it, I think I'll just sell leases to this land to my oil baron buddies, and we'll just split the profits of this entire massively federally illegal scheme. And of course, the company is like, absolutely, we're gonna do this. That news. It didn't get out until right after he died.
Yeah, this is another thing that just didn't come out till he died. We'll touch on when he died, but So far, while he's alive,
squeaky clean,
yes.
dog. An airtight operation. I
know.
mean, I don't know how it happened. You couldn't have done this with the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Too many Redditors reading through federal contracts to be like, I don't think that this is right. So yeah, this is like the other scandals, the misconduct, all that stuff. It really pales in comparison to this Teapot Dome thing, because at least the other things could be sort of like wrapped into like administrative mix-ups, or
Right, sure.
oh, we have a contract and I just happen to know that, like, it's all definitely illegal, but like on its face could be passed off as like, oh shucks, we're just good old
took
boys.
a little off the top. What difference?
We're just good old boys, and if it just through shell companies in a roundabout way made its way back to me, I don't know. It just, that was an accident, happy coincidence. But Teapot Dome for sure is like directly, like, just completely ignoring the law and doing something that not only personally enriches a sitting like cabinet member, it directly is stealing from the American taxpayer.
Yeah.
It just, on its face, there's no way to spin this. This was set aside, and you're just selling access to military oil reserves.
Yeah, it was for the Navy.
We just fought a world war, and we used a whole bunch of our oil and gas and all that stuff. We set this aside, and you just see this as a big piggy bank that you're going to take a hammer to. Mm-hmm. So it's so beyond the pale. But again, no one knew about it while Warren Harding was alive.
Yeah, this, as soon as after he died, it was some investigative journalists and Democratic senators were kind of the ones that kind of blow the lid off the whole thing. And so Albert B. Fall he be fallen. So
he be fallen directly into federal prison.
Yeah, so he's the first cabinet member to end up going to prison.
Yeah.
So
note about Warren Harding's death. So this is not confirmed, probably not true. It's one of my favorite conspiracies. I have many. But okay, Warren Harding, again, think of, yes, bad person, not good leader, but potentially like good-hearted dude who just partied too hard and like lived too fast, died too young.
I know what you're gonna. Yeah, okay.
And so, like, there's rumors that he asked Calvin Coolidge, because they went on like a cruise to Alaska, like him and his cabinet and the vice president went on a cruise to Alaska. And on this cruise, Harding kind of talks to Coolidge and says, if there was a massive conspiracy that would not just personally damage me and the cabinet, but it would like bring down the entire Republican Party, like we would not win another election ever, basically, because of how corrupt this deal is. If you found that out, would you keep the secret to preserve the party, or would you have to come clean about it and then suffer the consequences for it? And strangely, on that same cruise, which wasn't that long, Warren Harding fell terribly, terribly ill, and then died of a heart attack like 2 weeks or something after he got back. Like, they rushed him back, and then he just never got better and died. Conspiracy. They knew he was about to blow the lid on this whole thing, and they whacked him.
I mean, if they were worried about the reputation, I mean, Calvin Coolidge did pretty well at maintaining the public's trust and vote for him to just steamroll the whole rest of the 20s.
Yeah, that's true. But also, Warren Harding is dead. We have Albert Fall in prison. So we have a fall guy, the dude who presided over this whole thing and either was complicit or should have known better and said something. He's dead, so he's a non-factor. And Calvin Coolidge has said 6 words the entire time he's been in any elected office, so no one hates him. I mean, Warren Harding dies and he's a hero. Like, millions go to his procession. Like, he is a beloved character. So it's really easy to spin the story of like, oh, he was just a hapless president who tried to do the right thing and like appointed the wrong people, and they all snuck in, and it wasn't his fault. I think they whacked him.
The world may never know.
Mm. So. I'm telling you, that's what happened. That is 100% fully confirmed. If there's any Warren Harding, like,
he said it on his deathbed.
He did. I was there. So yeah, Warren Harding's dead, and so his vice president Calvin Coolidge, who is away at his vacation home out in the backwoods somewhere in the Northeast, is woken up by his dad, who is like a justice of the peace in that small town, and he says, "Get up, boy! You're president now." And so Calvin Coolidge says, "Hold on a second, I need to go pray." And
that is what he did.
Yeah,
before he did anything else.
So he took the oath of office in like this living room in the dark with his dad, and then he goes back to sleep. So yeah, Calvin Coolidge, who was known as Silent Cal, lived up to his name. So he was from Vermont, and he had like his mom and his sister both died when he was very young, and he and his dad just never talked about it.
Yeah,
just never like.
Well, his dad kind of conditioned him to just like not talk about it, basically.
Yeah, just move on. Just don't mention it, which will not have any negative consequences later. But he is known for like saying 2 words is 1 word too much for him, until he goes to college, and it turns out he's actually really good at making speeches. Which is odd. You would not think someone who doesn't talk a lot would be very good at speeches, but I think that's just sort of how his mind worked. He was very intelligent. He was able to structure arguments and give like verbal presentations to people, but like an off the cuff kind of thing. He was not going to work a room and glad hand. He'd make a rousing speech and had plans and had good ideas, but was not going to convey them just ad hoc. That's just not who he was.
Just would lay it out and be like, okay, now leave me alone. So
you want the plan? Here's the plan. There you go. Read it yourself. I'm not going to say anything about it.
Yeah, no, there's a famous story of him where he was at this dinner party, and this reporter comes up to him and says, President Coolidge, I have a bet with my friend, which is that I can get you to say more than 2 words. And he responds with, you lose.
So, you wily.
Kind of speaks to his brash nature.
Yeah. So. Well, he's funny. That's a funny joke from someone who doesn't say much. So, kind of his economic policy was just small government.
Yeah. So the laissez-faire economic, so which is like an old French philosophy. I think, laissez-faire. Yeah, that's a French word.
There's a Z in there.
Yeah. French. And basically, it's like, I guess in modern sense, if you're a fan of Rand Paul, and Ron Paul, then
it's libertarian economics.
Yes.
Let the market do whatever it wants.
Yeah.
Basically, businesses know what's best for themselves. They will act in their own best interest, and the government should not help or hinder them. Right? Whoever wins, wins. Whoever loses, loses. We're not going to get involved in it. Which is, after Teddy Roosevelt and like strikes and unions are starting to pick up, and we just got into a big old war. That could have been really dangerous. But again, you're in the roaring 20s where everything is going fine. So it's not out of the question to be like, hey, everything is fine. We're not going to touch this thing. We're just going to let it keep rolling. Everyone's content to just let the good times be good.
Yeah. And I guess to like really drive in his philosophy was, he said that it was more important for him to remove bad bills than it was to sign new ones.
Yeah.
And so like he went through and reduced the debt, which at the time was like, he reduced it by like $7 billion, which would be like nothing.
Yeah.
But like back then that was like a huge amount. I mean, the government was actually in the surplus, which we don't always get to say. And
we never get to say that. I mean, not often. He got into the weeds too, like the Postal Service. He went and he selected what color of fabric the mail carrier bag should be so that each bag was as cheap as it could possibly be. So again, that just speaks to his philosophy of like, okay,
leather bags, let's do pleather.
Yeah. Let's do canvas. Let's do burlap.
Yeah.
What's the roughest material we can use? Because it's going to save us 9 cents. And you're like, oh, Calvin, it's 9 cents. Yeah. But if we buy 100 million bags and we're saving 9 cents, that actually adds up. That's money that we can use for other things or nothing at all, paying off debt, whatever we want to do. So that sort of economic philosophy, it resonates with normal people who have to do that with their budget too. So especially when we're coming off of a war where we just borrow money, war bond, all this stuff. However you get the money, we're trying to fight a war. But now it's like, okay, the emergency's over. We're going to tighten it back up. We're going to do normal stuff. We're going to be good stewards of the money. Also, you probably don't want to be the president that spends a whole bunch of money after the last president
Yeah.
and all his friends stole a whole bunch of money from the government. So, it's, but it wasn't I don't think it was a reaction intentionally to Harding. I think that's just what
Yeah, well,
Coolidge
like I
always
said,
wanted. He was like that.
Well, he was governor of Massachusetts, and
Mhm.
so he had kind of already that instilled in his like work ethic.
Mhm.
Um, there, not to say he did nothing. Well, not to say he didn't pass anything. I mean, he was a big supporter of the 1924 Native American Citizenship Act,
Mhm.
which was to just grant citizenship to all Native Americans.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like I don't know, a sequel to the 14th Amendment,
Yeah.
basically. So just the idea of, well, you've already been here for so long.
I guess you've been here. So
Yeah.
here's a piece of paper.
So just remember. Okay.
Yeah.
Mississippi flood. So here's kind of where you can see, it's a little more debated, I guess, on how if he took things too far
Mhm.
with just not using any government
Mhm.
intervention.
Mhm.
So the Mississippi flood was caused by there's all these like levees from the Mississippi River
Mhm.
and everything, and all broke loose. I'm not an engineer, so I don't know.
Yeah,
exactly how
if you build them crappy, if it rains too much and there's too much water, they will break.
Yes.
And flood everything around it.
Well, it was like even when they were built, this was like 40 years, 20, 30, 40 years beforehand. I was reading about how they were even there was already a lot of warning that something like this was going to happen. And so, well, it happened. And they it's not even just in Mississippi. This is like basically like it goes across like 4 or 5 states like Louisiana and Arkansas and Missouri, Alabama.
Yep.
So tons of farmers and tons of people unfortunately were displaced. And it like wrecked just everywhere down there. And so Calvin Coolidge's idea is, well, because we're still in the states' rights era. This is like the last.
What, you mean the Constitution?
Yeah. So his philosophy is like, okay, well, dang, that sucks. Governors, what are you guys going to do about it? And then they said, no, President, what are you going to do about it? And he said, well, no, they voted for you. Like you're the one in charge. Like I'm more of just the caretaker of the country. Like it's the burden is on you.
Yeah.
And so that was that's where you kind of get it's hard to read like modern sensibilities and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
we're just so far removed. Like there was no FEMA, no like these bureaucracies that came about later on. So there wasn't really like a direct answer on, oh, there's this big natural disaster. Okay, well, let's just wait for the federal government to fix it.
Yeah. Or just like you said. And you know what? You can see both sides of it because Calvin Coolidge is right. This is your state. These are your levees that broke. They're your engineers. It's your tax dollars. It's your land and your economy is affected. Why should someone from Wyoming or California or anywhere else use the tax money that they have given to the federal government for services for the entire country? Why should we use that money to cover, in his mind, to cover for states' lack of planning and preparation and proper stewardship of the money and resources they already had? That's a fair point because, like you said, they had known for many years beforehand these levees were not up to snuff. They were going to fail if there was a big weather event, and then there was. They just assumed that they would like be dead or not in office and not have to deal with the problem. The buck has to stop somewhere. On the other hand, hey man, like 500,000 people have lost their homes and livelihoods, and we can't like grow stuff and feed ourselves, and there's a lot of water everywhere. Can we help a brother out? Like we're supposed to be one country. Like the Constitution's like promote the general welfare and provide for the common defense. Okay, well we need some general welfare here. You may be philosophically right about we should have done this and we could have done that. Well, we didn't and we can't. So help us now. And that was kind of a divisive issue. Because like in the same way, when a family has to tighten their budget to afford stuff or pay off debt, if your neighbor's house burns down, you're going to help them however you can. If you have money to spare, you give them some because, wow, that just sucks. And the common people didn't design or slack on the levees, but they're the ones who are paying the price for it.
Right.
And they're citizens just like I am. We should help them. So that was a divisive issue. And again, I always give props to someone who does something unpopular but is in line with their personal philosophy. But also you have to bear the consequences of doing that. And that was not a super popular decision.
Yeah. So about 500 people were killed from it, and then over 600,000 people were displaced. So
Yeah. It's the biggest one in U.S. history, the biggest flood in U.S. history. So far. You always have to put the asterisk on there.
I know.
So
in a year, it's just.
So
eventually he was talked into like giving some.
Oh, you got to give him some.
Yeah.
You can't be like, okay, Scrooge, listen, come on, let's go.
So anyway,
it got better.
Take it for what it's worth. But.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this kind of factors into even him at the end of his presidency, but his son Cal Jr.
Yeah, we think of 1924 as like the modern era, and for sure we are getting a lot more modern inventions and conveniences and this and the other. One thing we still don't have in 1924 is penicillin. So Cal Jr., who is Calvin Coolidge's youngest son.
Yeah, he's not his oldest.
Yeah, is going out one day in the White House grounds to play tennis. But he was so excited to play tennis, he didn't put socks on. So when he was playing tennis, he got a blister on his foot, and that blister ruptured and then got infected. And again, since there's no penicillin in 1924, the infected blister turned into sepsis, and he died like in a week. And so remember how, like, when Calvin Coolidge was 12 and his mom and sister died, and his dad's response to that was just don't talk about it. Then his son dies, and it kind of just broke him. He was already known for A, being quiet, and B, taking like a lot of naps, like not working like 12-hour days. He would work, he would take like a 2-hour nap in the middle of the day or something like that. That really accelerated after his son died, which, if you think about it from a modern perspective of like, you've lost a lot of interest in activities that you used to do, and you're sleeping a lot more, and you're doing a lot fewer activities. Like, we would call that person depressed.
Yeah.
In 1924, like, they probably had some sort of folksy thing for it, but like depression wasn't a thing that people. It was the thing that people had, but it wasn't a thing that we named like that, like as a condition.
Why the long face, son?
Why so sad? My mom died when I was 12, and my dad didn't let me talk about it. And now I'm the president of the United States, and my son died because he had a blister on his foot from playing tennis. This sucks really bad, and I'm sad. So yeah, it really, like, he would go to the Oval Office and just cry at his desk. He would be sleeping for like long stretches of the day. Like, he would have a 4-hour workday and just be done. And I don't blame him. I really don't, because it didn't fully destroy him, because he did still do his job. He didn't quit. He still did his job as president, but that was like the clock started for Calvin Coolidge at that point. He could have run again for re-election, and he probably would have won, because things were still good. He made some slightly unpopular decisions, but he was still generally well liked. He probably would have won. But after his son died, he was like, I'm not running again. I'm done.
Yeah, he does like a term and a half, basically, because he finishes out Harding's. And then, I mean, I don't know if he would have ran again beside that. I think I saw something about how he said he didn't feel worthy enough to be president longer than George Washington.
Well, take it easy, Cal. Like, let's not compare yourself to George Washington. But sure, the sentiment is there.
Right. So he, it's kind of weird, because it's like, well, you only did like a term and a half. You're not like trying to squeeze in 3 terms or something like that. It's like, it would have been, because obviously this was before, whatever amendment that was.
22nd?
Something, to only have 2 terms. I don't think it would have looked like an ego trip or a power hungry, kind of thing, if he had done that. Versus maybe it would have if he had done 2 full terms. It was kind of more just like the unwritten rule at the time. But yeah, I mean, if he was president again, ran again and went through the Great Depression with everything. We'll get into it when we get to Hoover. I think he would have handled everything. The Great Depression would have been greatly decreased if he was president, and we'll get more into all that and FDR and everything when those come out. Yeah. But on top of just the mounting pressure on that, with him still like decreasing with his mental health from his son and everything, I don't know how, because he actually only died a few years afterwards anyway. So I guess it just was never really meant to be anyway.
No, it's hard to say. And again, we'll get into it with Hoover. I mean, it's not that Hoover wasn't capable of doing something like that. He just a person who had made all the right moves and was very strategic encountered a completely new situation and made all the wrong choices, or made the right choices but not strong enough and not fast enough. And I don't know if Coolidge would have been better, because the Great Depression was an unprecedented thing. There wasn't any context for what this looked like. Like, again, we had no FEMA, we had no like national public assistance thing. Like, they had to make all these things up. So could Coolidge have done it? Sure, I believe he could have. Would he have done it better, faster, more effectively than anyone else? Maybe. I think after your son dies, you're going through your own stuff, and then this, one way to make a Great Depression even worse is if the leader of your country is also greatly depressed. Yeah. So that probably not, yeah. but we don't know. It's an interesting thought experiment. There's been many with presidents, but yeah, that's basically Calvin Coolidge.
Yeah,
I like him. He's a flyover president. He presided over a really good economic time, but dealt with a lot of like personal stuff. And I'm not going to say like if he didn't have that, he would have been a great president and even better. Like, we just don't know. But yeah, it's kind of worth skipping over both of them. We're just not going to release these. We're just going to skip over them. No, the presidencies happened. Let's get to Hoover.
Yeah, things will really start cooking next episode.
Now we're cooking over a trash barrel.
Yeah. Okay, well, on that note, end it there. Yeah, thanks everyone for sticking around. If you're still here, make sure to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.